Morphometric analysis of corneal endothelium after cataract surgery using various energy ultrasound versus laser. Dr. Kravchuk.
Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. Thank you for coming to our session. I guess everybody's a little bit exhausted by this Congress. Anyway, I would like to present our study entitled Comparative Morphometric Analysis of Corneal Endothelium After Cataract Surgery Using Various Energy Ultrasound and Laser. I would like to state that I don't have any financial interest in the product discussed on this presentation. I would like to remind the audience the specific features of cataract laser extraction with neodymium YAG laser 1.44 micrometers wavelength, which is Russian focal laser system. It is characterized by no heating of the tip and ambient media, small incision, which is 2.5 millimeters for IA and 0.8 millimeters for laser tip. What is important that nucleus destruction mechanism doesn't involve mechanical stress, and I will also mention this later in my little discussion. Minimal total energy introduced intraocularly. The system is characterized by stable fluidics with no microcollapses of an anterior chamber like we sometimes see in microincision phaco. And what we see clinically, the very fast rehabilitation of the patients. On this slide, we summarize data on endothelial cell loss after cataract laser surgery. There are three systems currently available in the market. The latest results on loss after phaco laser using 6th generation of Russia laser system almost twofold surpass similar quantitative characteristics of the loss after ultrasound with the same nucleus density as is shown on the slide with figures. On DODIC system, endothelial trauma is more pronounced. Erbium YAG phaco is comparable, but I should emphasize that both latter systems are used for soft nuclei only, and they have to use ultrasound very rather frequently in case of middle and denser nuclei. In this work, we pursued the task to conduct comparative research of endothelial morphometry and to find out safety and reliability of Russian phaco laser system in relation to corneal endothelium. So we studied the following morphometric parameters in the long-term follow-up: coefficient of variation and percentage of hexagons, and coefficient of shape. The latter parameter, maybe for the audience, is a bit not very well known, but this parameter was introduced by Professor Fedorov with co-authors in 1993, and it is actually the ratio of square and perimeter of the cell. The formula is shown on the slide, and it is also characterizes pleomorphism of endothelial cells. So we enrolled two consecutive groups of patients with the cataract laser extraction and coaxial ultrasound phaco. Number of cases you can see on the slide, and we divided both groups in subgroups in using the parameter of nucleus density. So in this table, you can see that in soft and middle nuclei group, after ultrasound process of post-surgical repair, which is characterized by coefficient variation, completed by 3 months, in group of dense nuclei by 6 months in ultrasound group, which is expressed in corresponding change of coefficient of variation. On the contrary, in phaco laser group, in all cases including dense cataracts, repair was faster and finished by 1 month. In soft and middle density groups after ultrasound phaco, shape coefficient was found to be stable and unchanged over the whole follow-up period. So in dense nuclei group, shape coefficient decreased from 0.77 pre-op to 0.73 post-op with no subsequent restoration, which reflects change in normal cellular pattern. After phaco laser, shape coefficient remained stable and unchanged over the whole follow-up period in all groups, including dense cataracts. In ultrasound groups, when it comes to percentage of hexagons, in soft and middle nuclei percentage stayed nearly unchanged over the whole follow-up period. In dense nuclei group, it decreased correspondingly, the figures you can see on the slide. In phaco laser group, percentage was stable in all groups and unchanged. So our data on post-phaco endothelial morphometry correlate with other authors like Dr. Hayashi, Dr. Malugina and Zakharova. When it comes to bimanual technique, now we have information published by Dr. Alio Mencucci, and now I can mention also Dr. Padroni, who presented to us the morphometrical parameters today. The phaco, it is comparable, but again, it is for soft and middle nuclei, I would like to emphasize. So in few words, in a little discussion, how to explain endothelial trauma, less endothelial trauma after neodymium YAG laser. The most important, in our view, two things. The mechanism of interaction with substance doesn't produce heating. It is very important. So less trauma, energetical trauma, and the destruction is strictly localized. So there is so-called, as we call it, cluster mechanism of nucleus destruction, and we don't need to separate mechanically the nucleus and the happens. What Dr. Zhiraskova just showed to us in her presentation concerning aqualase, you could see that actually even an aqualase you need to perturb. It is mechanical stress. So in our system, it is not necessary. There is spontaneous cracking of the nucleus. So in conclusions, after cataract laser extraction, corneal endothelium regeneration is completed within 1 month. After ultrasound, during 3-6 months, depending on density of the nucleus. Unlike ultrasound phacoemulsification, phaco laser doesn't change normal hexagon pattern and endothelial structure even after surgery on the most dense nuclei. So in our view, cataract laser extraction with neodymium YAG laser 1.44 micrometers is indicated in case of dense cataracts and compromised corneas especially. Thank you for your attention.